I am live.
We are live.
We are going.
Very good.
Both on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please, and ask everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good morning and welcome everybody to the December 23rd York County Commissioner meeting, the last one of 2025. Roll call, please.
Groats.
Present.
Burgess.
Here.
Bowman.
Present.
Obermeyer.
Present also. Open meetings law is posted on the south side of our chambers. It is in the hallway outside of our chambers and also posted on our website. Proof of publication was in the newspaper, the News Times, December 18th, also posted on our website. Review and approve the minutes of our December 9th Board of Commissioner meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Burgess.
Yes.
Groats.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes, and adopt today's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bowman.
Yes.
Groats.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, first up, we're going to start off with officials forum. Anybody? Greg, Ashley? Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ashley Rasmussen, York County Roads.
Greg Heine, York County Roads.
You're first. Your turn.
We've been working on the 1 and 6 project proposals that we'll bring to you guys. Daniel and Andy have been working on that with us as well. Year-end report, been working on that. And that's all I have, Craig.
Still cleaning out some ditches until weather pushes it out of it, so just keeping the guys busy.
For a couple days this week at least, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Thank
thank you.
Yeah. Well, somebody else you can thank for that.
Okay.
Okay, any questions?
You sticking around until we get to our next project? Well, okay.
Yep, we'll be around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other officials this morning like to come forward? Seeing none else get up, we'll move on to the public comment section of our agenda. Public may step forward at this time if they'd like and give a comment.
You did it.
As you come forward, you'll notice a box of candy there. Go ahead and have a couple more, Willard.
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Just like going to a couple places I go to.
Good morning, Willard.
Good morning, Willard Peterson, 514 Road 13, York, Nebraska. I'm from Bradshaw. My address should be Bradshaw, but it's not. So I just want to remind people of that. Anyway, my thought processes this morning center around Grinch socks. Well, if I don't get you, that's, you're supposed to make a story and the first line's supposed to catch you. Well, if that didn't, whatever. Anyway, it has to do with attitudes. And it's really been concerning me, partly the attitude in this country, the attitude of people when something doesn't go their way, then they throw a fit of some sort. And that goes on all the way from Washington right down to individual counties in the state. And because there's some of that going on right here in York County. And it just kind of really bothers me. The reason the Grinch socks came up is because McDonald's Corporation had a promotion they put out. And they put out a Happy Meal with a pair of Grinch socks in it. They only left that promotion intact for 6 days, from the 2nd of December to the 8th of December, because there was so much hullabaloo around people wanting this Happy Meal with the Grinch socks. It was creating I'm gonna say ruckuses in a lot of McDonald's. And that includes the great city of York. I was gonna say firsthand, but not, but I know from a super reliable source, the workers at the McDonald's restaurant were put through tremendous abuse over these Happy Meals because they wanted a certain color of Grinch socks and they didn't get it. And they basically threatened some of the employees. This is a fact. And it kind of carries on to other things, as I mentioned, going on in even York County. People that don't get their way, they throw a fit and do different things and so forth. And it just really concerns me. It really does. And then another thing is the fact that, we're coming up, I see this morning, you're going to act on salaries and so forth. And I sort of understand when you were talking about this whole salary thing that, some people, some of your statements more or less were, well, we took care of one department last year and gave them pretty good raises, so they won't get one and the next department will, and blah, blah, blah. And in theory, that's all good. That's all good. But in other theories, people sometimes feel left out. And so as you think about who gets a raise and who doesn't today, of course, that's already set, so I'm not going to change anybody's mind. But, there are certain departments or certain groups of people that really haven't seemed to have gotten raises. And somehow there's got to be a better way to do it. And the last thing, next time, don't leave Mr. Bowman out with the memo of how he was to dress today. Everybody else has got really dressed up good. Now, my point of saying that is if Mr. Bowman would have gotten that memo, he should have been getting back to you guys saying, get over this dressing coats and suits and ties and suspenders. Anyway, I am all over Andy Bowman and the way he's dressed.
Thanks, Willard.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public currently would like to speak? Good morning.
Good morning.
Joanne Jackson, 907 Road 2, Fairmont, Nebraska, York County. My concern is the zoning meeting that was supposed to take place, I don't remember, a week and a half ago. There was a bulletin out in the hallway about it a month ago or whenever, but we didn't. I even called the office, the county attorney's office, and asked if there was a meeting that night and wasn't notified that it was canceled. So, and also if the agenda could be put online for the zoning meetings, because some of us live out of town, so.
We'll get you an explanation of what happened if you didn't get one yet on that after the meeting. If that's okay, Joanne.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the public this morning? Seeing nobody else get up in the room, we will move down the agenda. We do have a general assistance case, but let's continue to go down the agenda. We can pick that up towards the end. Payroll and vendor claims. Mary, we do have a one or two corrections. We have it in two different funds, right?
Correct.
For the Soren Group, for the payroll and vendor claims.
After Soren Group, this specific bill gets split between the general fund and communications. And it was only coded out of communications. It wasn't coded out of the general fund. AP usually codes it, didn't get coded. So we do have to add that. The total bill was $25 $2,523.50, so $2,523.50. Only $842.48 was coded to get paid. However, that number is wrong. They are charging us for Office 365, which 10 people in the dispatch have that on their email. So we have to add that to communications and then code the 1659 out of the 610, 864.25 out of the 2910.
Okay.
Does that all make
Those are-
sense?
The only question, and go ahead with your question, then I can follow
Well, just
up.
the numbers.
Just
I
the
wanted to make
numbers.
sure you had the numbers. So this is the 864.25 is the adjustment.
Yes.
The adjusted number
In
for 2910.
yes, in 29.
And 1659.25 is for the out of 610, the sheriff's department.
We're doing some out of sheriff also?
Well, that's
No.
how it gets split up.
Oh,
That's how
okay.
the Soren bill did not get split up this time, so it's out of the 100 fund 610.
The
and
data
that's That's
processing.
the adjusted number.
Okay.
Or data processing.
That, okay, now it's making sense. The Office 360 pieces, we just renewed those. So do we have some licenses through Soren also, or is this a duplicate?
And so this is interesting. This is the first time they've ever charged us
Mhm.
the 333 for
When is
the
this-
Office 365.
Right, yeah. When's this bill due?
Um,
Can we hold it till January 2nd?
Well, we can hold it and get a little.
it said due
information.
date November 11th.
Interesting. Do you, Josh, I see you in the back. Do you have any idea?
I'd have to see the
Okay,
bill
yeah,
specifically
exactly.
because as I see it right now, I believe that all of our 365 is actually paid through the
That's
contract that we just signed.
That's what I
Last
thought.
meeting.
So I wonder why they're charging.
Yeah, let's,
So let's hold up on
Hold
the
it, yeah.
$333
okay.
part of it
Yeah,
and split
that's
the
fine.
normal bill
That's fine.
between the two entities
Sure.
that needs it, which would be 2910, and then it comes out of data. That 610 is data.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So I won't pay the 333. We'll just pay what,
Yeah.
okay.
Until, and then carry it over. So that's the adjustment.
Okay.
Anybody else see anything that they? I can tell you that, we've seen another, public defender bill, come out of the county court. And so I'd asked last week while we was in NACO, asked, Allison to come up with a fee for us. And we had budgeted, mid twos for public defender, and we're almost all the way through the budget in 6 months' time. So they're just, it's an onslaught that, I don't know, won't quit, and we don't have a good answer for it. So, just so everybody knows that budget is in 6 months going to pot, so. But it is what it is. We see more stuff in the paper every day. We see more stuff on 10-11 News, like I seen this last week, and then we're stuck with it, so. Unless we can get the state to come in and help us out and take over that would be super, so. But that's the one that got my attention. Anybody else see anything else? It's relatively low number, finishing out the year.
Motion to approve payroll and vendor claims with the stated adjustments.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Groves,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. We won't do any funding transfers at this time. If you've seen the sheets, we've got some funds that are a little bit in trouble. We need to visit a little bit about aging services. We need to visit a little bit about the state institutions and see where we're going to go. Undoubtedly, because of another thing, we're probably going to have to open up the budget again at the end of the year. So we're probably going to see some negatives for a while until we take care of it that way. But we'll wait till we get down the road a little bit. Bills are being paid. We're just going to see some funds in the negatives.
No,
Did you have something to add, Mary?
Yeah, the 1,700 because of the EPCs.
State
We-
institutions.
Yeah, the state institutions, we did a transfer 2 weeks ago.
10,000.
And,
And we've got more to transfer, but we haven't done that
right,
yet.
but we're at like negative 19,000 with the medical bills that we're paying this time. So leave it, don't do, okay,
For right now.
Okay.
And we'll address it after the first of the year.
okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any to add on the transfers? We'll just have to monitor and see where we're at on that right now. Discuss an act on an ACH payment for the interest of our bond, which would be $33,572.50. This is to give the treasurer permission to make this interest payment. This is our half year payment. So any questions regarding that?
Motion to approve ACH payment for highway allocation bond to Chase New York City Bank.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes, and then the next one is an ACH payment to Midwest Auto Pros in the amount of $6,627.50. This is not normal that we do it this way, but the payment for this was needed ACH. We felt that it was a good, we do the others this way. It gives the treasurer permission to make that payment. So, and this is a piece of equipment that we purchased last week.
Yes, this will be for use at the roads department. We found a piece that was fairly under what we had budgeted, and we feel that it will do what we need it to do, so.
Nice.
Yeah, this piece of equipment gives us more utility than the generators we're looking to rent for the winter. And the price point's actually about 2/3 of what the rental fees would be for a smaller generator, so. Be able to move this around and power the whole facility, not all at once, but it'll give us good utility and then also be able to, if something happens with a disaster or something, it'll give us power at other locations too, because it is on a trailer, so.
Okay.
Motion to approve ACH payment to Midwest Auto Pros.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, next up, discuss an act on adopting a resolution to reappoint Jim Ulrich to the Four Corners Board of Health. And this is actually for a 3-year term. Yeah, I'm gonna make you come out. Yeah. In that Christmassy spirit. You can bring Jim with you if you want. We'd love to have Jim here too. I did have one other member of the public asked to be put on this board. We don't want to not recognize him, but we will be talking about him a little bit later in some other things. So it is our recommendation to have Jim do it. Jim's been a wonderful member of Four Corners Board, very knowledgeable about everything that takes place, has helped me in my transition onto the board the last couple of years. So Jim, we truly appreciate that. And go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Laura McDougall, 5 Country Club Terrace, York, Director of Four Corners. We have greatly appreciated Jim. He's been on our board for maybe 3 or 4 years now.
Time flies.
I know he was appointed interim for a minute, but he is our treasurer currently and has been on our building committee to help us finish our building, to remodel the building, and just such a great asset. And I would also add that it's been wonderful having Jim on the board because of the collaboration we're able to do on a lot of health projects with care coordination activities, and now also the way the hospital and the clinic have been brought together. We just have many touch points that we work together on projects with, whether it's behavioral health or it's physical health, just so many things. So I guess we really appreciate the service so far and are very happy that he's willing to continue on.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jim.
All right, Jim Ulrich, 1313 Road Inn, York, Nebraska. As Laura said, treasurer of the Four Corners Board of Health and also the CEO of York General. And I think that ability to collaborate really has been nice, and that helps with having the clinic on board with York General now too. And all under one organization, because there's some good things to come in grants that'll come back to access to care, which can overall on healthcare, which can meet some unmet needs and weave in with the some of the resources that we have as care coordination, as you mentioned too. So the idea is to get healthy people, and that doesn't have to only happen in the walls of the hospital. And that's really part of our mission that's buried in there too, is access to care and local care if we can. And what's not said in there is that can be through partnerships as well. And that's really an important part of that. I tell you, it's been really good to be a part of the building project that took place, the renovation and all of that. If you haven't been through there, I'm not sure that night and day describes it. It is really nice to have a health department that is warm and inviting all throughout there to the public in need, and the various employees and contracted employees and everything that work through there. It's kind of warming to see that an enhancement to the care that can be provided, and to be able to be a part of that. And as a CEO of a healthcare organization, you do go through construction projects and you learn lessons. And I think if that's what I can contribute to the group a lot, I'll continue to do that. And just really also impressed with the rest of the board. Dr. Jillian Fickinger being on there is nice too. Just from the healthcare standpoint, but all of them that we have on the board are, Randy included, really brings some good insight to the board. I think we're really well-rounded. The team is talented at Four Corners as well. And to be inside that group and to understand that even better over the last 3 years has also been a huge plus. The kind of talent and passion that we have at Four Corners, we have to be proud of. It's not echoed everywhere, that way. And the collaboration throughout the York with the Four Corners Board of Health and the other counties as well. I've experienced it elsewhere. While it's been good, this is really a very concise group, I think, that works together throughout the Four Corners. So thank you for the opportunity.
So that needs to be done by resolution. Gentlemen,
Move to adopt resolution to reappoint Jim Ulrich to the Four Corners Board of Health for a
Okay.
3-year term.
thank you.
Was it 2 or?
It's 3. I'm sorry.
It's
It was on
3.
there wrong. It's 3.
Alright, I'll second.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Do you want that defined? That'd be from starts January, right? And then.
Yep.
Okay. 3 years. Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Groats,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. And touching just briefly on, I told the board last meeting about the big beautiful bill and the possible changes coming, and then I was invited to a Zoom. Hopefully, we're going to get some more explanation about mid-January on some of that. Do you have any other insight quickly on any of that, Laura?
I have no new information. As part of the big beautiful bill, there's a rural health transformation funding application that went in. So we're waiting to hear if anything, if all of the applications funded, if some of it or none of it is that would pertain to our health department. It's there's quite a few different aspects to the application that went in from the State Office of Medicaid and Long-Term Care. So, and I know the hospital could potentially, and our healthcare system could see effects from it too. So we'll, as soon as we know anything, we'll.
Perfect. It sure sounds like there could be some changes in the air.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Yes,
Jim,
thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Okay, next up, we will discuss an act on adopting a resolution to appoint, is it Brooke? Amy Brooke? Is that how we say, it's not Brooch? Brooke.
Brooke.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
Randy, you're saying it right.
I'm saying it right.
Good.
And August Richters. It's not the normal spelling, unless how we get into those ruts.
Who are they replacing?
Good
Okay.
morning.
Good morning.
We're
Tammy
gonna-
Crawford,
There
Nebraska
you go.
Extension.
Okay, so, on the extension board currently, do you have the current list of what we
I do.
have? Okay,
Yep.
so who would they,
So these two would be replacing Marie Krasnick. She is terming out, and Connor Mogul is terming out.
and so,
Amy is Marie, and August is Connor.
And
Okay.
what's Marie's last name again?
it's right
Krausnick?
there. Sorry,
Oh, sorry.
right there.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, these both were recommended by current board members and have accepted the position if they're elected or voted in, so.
Okay.
August works at Cornerstone Bank as an accountant, and Amy is they own their own farm, organic, she's big in terms of organics, so I think that'll be a really great asset to our team.
Okay, well, we appreciate the service that Marie and Connor gave over the last
Yep.
number of years. And these terms are, it looks like right now,
3 years.
December, and 3-year terms.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
Any questions of Tanya while she's sitting there?
Do we have, is there one other one, the at-large, that is expiring?
Yes, oh, I'm sorry, but he will re-up for a second term.
Okay.
Correct, yes. You're right, I should have pointed that out.
That's
yes.
all right. And
Jeff
do
Steckman
we,
will go for a second term.
do we need to, because on the list that I'm looking at, his term, expires at the end of this month. Am I looking at that
Correct,
correctly?
yeah.
Okay. So do we, in our resolution, do you want
Add
us
him.
to add him
Sure.
to re-up?
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever done that way before, but if that's how, that's probably a good
Mhm.
thing to put in there, yeah.
And Amy, August, and reappoint.
Jeff Steckman.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. That's a good question.
We'll just take care of
I just usually said, hey, you want to do it? And Jeff says, yeah, I'll go again, so.
it. Okay.
That would be great.
Anything else to add?
Nope.
Anything else to add?
I just have, Jenny Reese wanted me to give you guys this is the pesticide and fumigation stuff
Yes, please.
programs, so she just wanted me to hand these out to you guys, so.
Okay.
So you have them, I probably should have given it to you earlier, but, it's fine.
That, if we want to re-up that, is that as easy as just saying we want to re-up and then you say sure?
No. Sorry, that's not how it works for that. I wish, right?
Move to adopt a resolution to appoint Amy Bruck and August Richters to the Extension Board for a 3-year term, as well as to reappoint Jeff Steckman to the Extension Board for another additional 3-year term.
Thank you, Andy.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Groves.
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming
Merry
in this
Christmas.
morning. Yep, you too. Okay, moving on, we will discuss and act on appointing members to the Board of Adjustment for a 3-year term.
And this will also be a resolution.
Daniel, you had made some calls and,
Yeah.
and did some talking. I'll let you kind of take over on that one if you'd like to.
So, Board of Adjustments, this is a 5-member board with 1 alternate. One of those members must also sit on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Jason Purdue currently holds that seat that is on both. I talked to him, he is more than willing to continue serving on both. Max Moore and Kim Regier both also sit on that board. They are both willing to re-up and continue to serve. This is for a 3-year term. 2 members from that board are have asked to be off and or are no longer with us. And so we will need to find 2 more members to bring onto that board. Willard Peterson currently serves as the alternate. He is willing to continue in that seat. He would also be willing to serve as a full board member, whatever this board so chooses. So that all being said, we need to appoint Max Moore and Kim Regier for a 3-year term. We need to discuss which seat Willard is going to fill, and then we'll need 2 more individuals for this board.
So the individuals, obviously, we'd want to make contact with them. Anybody that has any idea, or, we can talk after the meeting. We can reach out to them and explain what's going on. It'd really be nice, obviously, if they said they'd accept before we just go ahead and appoint. But today we can take care of the matter at hand. Are you recommending that Willard become a board member instead of an alternate then?
It doesn't matter. We can definitely do that.
And Willard, would you accept? You said you would accept either way. Okay, thank you.
This board will have a quorum if there is something after when we complete our approvals today. They will have a quorum. So if there is something that comes somewhat unlikely in the last 6 years, I don't know that this board has ever met.
Okay. Any questions?
Do we need to reappoint Jason to the board? Or is his?
Yes, sorry, we do need to, yes.
That was
Thank
my
you.
question. And his is 2 or 3?
His is 3. And it is in statute that it's a 3-year term. I don't know, this will make, I guess that'll be all right. We'll stagger the other 2 when we appoint them for a 3-year term. Where I was going was, is it really good to have everybody expire all at the same time? But if we do 3 or 4 of them now, and then the others, that'll be a stagger, so that'll be good.
As you see on some of our other boards, that's the way it's been.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean,
Right.
I don't know, that makes a big difference. Just sometimes you're looking for a whole bunch instead of just one at one time.
Yep.
So currently then we would have Willard, Max,
Mhm.
Willard, Max, Kim, and Jason would be the 4 currently that we would be reappointing for a 3-year term.
Correct.
Okay.
Will there be a change of status?
Yeah. 2 full.
But Kim and Max are reappointments, correct?
And Jason.
And Jason.
And Jason.
Move to adopt a resolution reappointing Jason Purdue, Max Moore, Kim Regier, and to appoint Willard Peterson to the Board of Adjustments for a 3-year term.
Thank you, Andy.
I can second that.
Thank you.
Now the current term was March to March. Do we want to, do you want to continue that and just back them up? Or do we change the term to January to December?
Or have they been expired since March?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would change the term to January 1st term.
So
Second the-
I'll second that.
Second the amendment.
No, just change of it. No, we're not
January
amending anything.
1st to December 31st.
We get in trouble
Either
when we
way.
do that.
Okay. Everybody got that?
You betcha.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Groats,
Yes.
Overmeyer.
Yes. Okay. Thank you to those. Thank you to Willard. And that takes care of, and then we'll, like I say, if you come up with some names, if you'd like to reach out, if you know, obviously reach out and ask them if they'd like to serve the county in this way. And then we can get them up to snuff on that too. Okay, next up, discuss and act on emergency management position. Gary's time is very quickly coming to an end with us in Seward County. There was a little bit of discussion at the NACO convention with the Seward County chair. And it sounds, even though their board had not taken any action yet, it sounded overwhelmingly that's the direction they wanted to go, is to separate out and go on their way. We'd go on ours. I have had some feedback from the public, and the public, mainly fire department and rural department, they would like to see York County do the same for different reasons. So I guess at this point in time, I would like us to, in our agreement that we signed in 2019, I believe it, 2019, no, 09. 2019 was the other one. I think it was 08 or 09.
08 or 9, yeah.
So that agreement, Gary, I would like, I know that you had a brief conversation with Wendy, the county attorney in Seward County. If we could come up with some paperwork that would ask us, or ask us just to forego the 90 days and we could go on our own. You felt like she was pretty sure we could do that. And then at the next meeting, we could adopt that. I would also like to recommend that we look at this as putting this out. One of our fire department employees recommended that while we go for this search, maybe we involve somebody from that community to help us with what we would want. I know Gary has said that he would help in any way, shape, or form that he could help, but then we go ahead and get the parameters of what we expect this duty to be, what the wage, what the hour commitment, and all of this would be moving forward, and then start accepting applications. Comments?
I guess I got a lot of the same similar feedback you did from some of the rural departments that they feel a need for an in-house, in-county person that could spend more time. Gary was stretched a little bit thin in their opinion, so I would be fully on board with severing the agreement as soon as possible with Seward County, so we can move forward looking for that person in the county. I think it's important to have someone in the county that lives in the county do this position. I do feel, after some conversations I've had mainly with our local fire departments again, that it's not really a shared duty type. It could be a shared duty role, but needs to still be separate from the fire and EMS and the sheriff's department as well. So,
Other feelings? I think it should be a county position, personally. And then everybody within the county takes advantage of it. It's not like we need an interlocal agreement with Henderson or with the city of York, anything like that. This is just a county position and it's for everybody in the county. So just something we have to do. We do know that having a full-time position puts us in line for FEMA, NEMA grants that historically has paid for about a third of their wage. So it's definitely something we want, I think, full-time to help take advantage of that granting opportunity. So anything else? I guess that in that case, I would entertain a motion to start have Gary have that conversation, maybe get something in writing to start that ball rolling to, as Andy said, sever as soon as possible or in the near future to do away with that 90-day. That way we can get going on it.
And then in that, we probably want somebody, a couple of us anyway, or to start thinking about what that job is going to look like for York County, and so that we can get a posting out there.
Yep. We have the job description already. And Gary had turned over some of that information that I have. I was his liaison for York County, so I do have some of that. And I'm sure Cheryl does too. If not, we'll get that to her and get going on it.
Do we know, there was some shared equipment, or did we each have our own?
We have our own. There is a piece of equipment, a rural
It's an emergency response.
There we go. I was gonna ask Alex. It is something that's actually housed in Bradshaw, but through the Forest Service, it went through Benedict.
Correct.
And I believe there are a couple radios in there that is, Seward's.
So I did meet with Gary on that piece of equipment yesterday. So I got a bunch of questions from the Bradshaw department about it. Yeah, what you said is 100% correct. Vehicles on loan through the Forest Service via the Benedict Volunteer Fire Department. It's housed in Bradshaw. Bradshaw's used it. A number of the departments in the county have used it. The only thing that is Seward's in there are the radios. Gary was pretty sure he had a couple of radios to replace a couple that are in there, but there's multiple very special specific radios. Greg could probably, or Alex could probably explain the differences, but there are differences in radios. So we probably would have to buy a radio to replace one of the higher dollar radios that Seward County has in that vehicle. So, but yeah, the vehicle will definitely stay in the county. Just gonna have to give them some of the radios back. So, the only other equipment I see is I'd like to get with Gary and what his vehicle and what his vehicle is stocked with from an emergency response standpoint, and what kind of get a handle on a rough dollar figure for that, because I'm sure he's got some specialized equipment that is going to cost some money, and who's stuff we need to find out.
Right.
Well, him and myself are next week, gonna go over inventory. That way he can leave and, I'll go over the inventory that he has on his sheet, make sure it's all in-house, and we can talk about that a little bit more too.
Do we know, do we have any idea off the top of our heads on, obviously we were budgeting a salary to share our share. Do we have any idea on what that salary we're gonna need to, are we gonna
Not
be able
yet.
to be close, I wonder, in what our current salary was budgeted, or will it have to be a fair bit more than that?
It's more than, depending on when somebody come on board, if it would
Right.
took a month or two, then that would obviously help the budget.
Right.
But we're halfway through our budget year, obviously, that we'll be paying. And then we will get reimbursed for half. That grant goes through Seward County. And so we will be reimbursed for the half, 2025, but then beyond that, we won't get any more until we have somebody on board and then applies for the next one. So it'll probably be close. It'll probably end up in that mix of things that we're gonna have to reopen the budget
Right.
for,
Yeah.
more than likely, because it's its own fund, 2915.
Yep.
So, and that will depend upon what this board sets that wage at too.
Right, exactly. And that way, well, in order to get somebody to fill that position, we'll probably have to offer a wage higher than what our share of his wage
Right.
probably was.
Right. Depending on experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we get a larger cut of the grant money to fund most of that.
Yeah, I wonder how that does work. If they're, I wonder how the grant is worded. If it's a percentage of or if it's just based on population, you get this much.
Not sure.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Not sure. Typically every year, we get right around $20,000 back, funneled back at the end of the year.
Yep.
At the end of the budget year. Any other discussion regarding this? Little changing of times, but it should be fine. Hopefully that right person is out there.
So I would make a motion to discontinue the interlocal agreement on the emergency manager position with Seward County as Gary sees fit for our current agreement, and begin the process of creating a York County position and job description and salary for an emergency, a York County only emergency manager position.
Thank you, Andy. That should cover it for the time being.
Yeah,
It sounds good to me.
pretty open.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. And Gary, I'm sure that we'll be talking a little bit more if Wendy has any questions or whatever.
I just reached out to her and
Okay.
see if we can get something drafted.
Okay.
Quickly here.
Thank you. Next up, Brennan, I believe you're going to be coming forward to discuss an act on Crime Commission CB and EB grants.
Hello, yep, Vernon Cole, Restorative Services Director for the county. The Crime Commission, CB and EB grants, same ones we've used the last few years to cover the salaries for the juvenile side of things. I came in November to talk to you about it, saying that there's changes for the deadline, which is, they're now both in January 7th. So Tristan should have sent you a copy last Wednesday. And if there's any questions on it, I can either use them now or we have another board meeting before the deadline for that grant. So if we need to make any changes, we can, but just pending your approval.
The grants, two separate grants, and obviously each one is 20-some pages long, that details the money. Is it March, April typically that those are, because these are for the next budget year, obviously, we're talking about. Aren't they usually awarded sometime in that March,
I
April
believe
time
so.
frame, somewhere in there? Did everybody have an opportunity to go through those, see the numbers?
Is this, between the two of them, are we asking for about the same as we've been asking, or is it?
Slightly less, like 1,200. So not a substantial difference, but about the same.
Essentially, it covers your wage, Skylar's wage, and benefits.
And believe, so the CB, is covering two positions.
Mhm.
And in the EB, there's a third position listed in there.
So with me moving up, I'm covering just a limited amount of clients or cases, whatever you want to call them. So really, it's just the same position, just right now it's open.
Okay, and you have that new employee hired, or you're
Do not-
wanting to? And so this, then did you take somebody's place, or?
So Tristan moved over to just regular grants and budgeting, and then I'm now administrating both adult side and youth side.
I see, so you are now you're overseeing both,
And honcho.
juvenile and adult. And what, okay, and so Tristan's question really doesn't pertain to you. We'll have to talk to the county attorney regarding that one. And so now because I was looking and you're on here, the EB and the CB grants don't fully cover what you put down as your salary. So some of the other grants are covering the rest of yours, is that?
That's correct.
I think it mentioned in there, did it not mention the CUSA grant in there?
I think the
Obviously.
OJJDP or something.
Yeah, obviously, those grants, this was the main one we dealt with for years. And then whichever one was first, CB or EB, the second one came along to help supply benefits, you know, because there was a point in there where we didn't have them both. And
Right.
I think this board has, over the years, continually talked about how these grants are obviously coming in, but they are not binding our hands to continue on with this if and when these grants do run out. Obviously, for years now, we've gotten both CB and EB to continue on. And who knows what will happen with the CUSIP grant, but that is something that I think needs to be brought up every time. I know that I've been bringing it up every time and then especially when we bring new employees on, because, you know, I was in the room when we thought the CUSIP got pulled away from us this spring and the sinking faces, you know, were detrimental, but yet we know this going in, that if these grants run out, that truly could happen. Because we don't have the authority to spend that type of money
Right.
or add that into our budget, especially the way the state is hamstringing us on our budgets now. So it is nice. Daniel, I know you're bringing up a point, and I appreciate that. We found out at our conference this last week that regardless of elected official, regardless of paying, and I'm talking about any elected official or paying bills, it all comes down to this board. And this board is the one responsible for everything, especially the claims. And so when there are new employees that are thought to be added, adding this board in on that conversation is crucial, in my opinion. We don't necessarily control that, but we control the claims at the end of the process, the payroll at the end of the process, and just having us be a part of that discussion is really important to us. And not finding it in a grant application, because I don't believe that we've necessarily been brought in on the conversation as of yet. So I assume that's kind of where you was going there a little bit. So, but the grants, we can sign off on them now, but we still have to sign off on them
Right.
in March and April,
Right.
as a normal procedure. So,
And pending your approval, we can send you an electric copy so you can get your e-signature on it. Makes it a little bit easier.
what's that now?
Pending your approval, we can send you a electronic copy of it.
Right.
so you can get it.
That's typically what happens.
The one other question then, today in claims, we had another reimbursement to University of Nebraska. What are they doing that your team can't do in-house?
So they kind of support us with a little bit of oversight, but mostly helping us find, like, sift through the data, whether it be on the statewide of it, also a little bit on the adult side. Because as a new program, we're just trying to get our people with it.
Any other questions for the grant applications currently? And the application is due January
Anyway,
7th.
This is just a motion, right?
Yeah, for the once again, it's the application.
Yeah, it's just an application.
Are you satisfied right now, Daniel, or you want a little bit more conversation regarding it? Entertain a motion.
All right, well, I'll move that we apply for the CB and EB grants for Crime Commission.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Burgess,
Yes.
Um,
Bowman,
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, we're just a couple minutes away from the Board of Equalization. There's no way we're gonna get anything done on the other two right now. So we are going to recess as the Board of Commissioners, and Commissioner Groves can take it up in a minute or two. If somebody needs to step out for a minute, there should be a few minutes' time. Brennan, do you have anything else this morning?
I did not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Nine 30. And go ahead and convene as the Board of Equalization if everybody's ready. Roll call, please.
Obermeyer,
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Burgess.
Here.
Gross.
Here. Open meetings law is posted outside in the hallway as well as a copy in the back of the room. Notice of publication and for this meeting was posted in the newspaper December 18, as well as on the county website December 15. First up, we need to review and approve the minutes of the November 25 Board of Equalization meeting.
Move for approval.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Roll call.
Obermeyer,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. And an adoption of today's agenda.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Burgess.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. All right, first up on, for action, discuss and act on approving annual.
Oh,
Yeah, it
public.
wasn't on here.
Yeah, I
we-
was there.
That's all right. We do need to have a public forum if anyone is interested in speaking during this meeting. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public forum and move on down the agenda. Now we will take up action on discuss and act on approving annual motor vehicle tax exemptions for nonprofit organizations. I believe these were all listed in they were all attached to your packet. They did get scanned without the recommendation of the treasurer. but it appears that she has marked all of them for approval. So these are just the vehicles that the entities within York County that qualify for the exemption on their vehicles. They submit the renewal for January, and we get to decide what our wishes are on it.
So only one question I have on this list. It's got Renewed Horizons on the big list, and it's also for number 4. Am I missing the fact that that's a separate vehicle?
I believe that was a new purchase, at least that's what I did.
The 2011 Toyota Camry
Right.
is a new purchase.
So all the others are just renewals. So
Move to approve the motor vehicle tax exemptions for nonprofit organization listed in the attachment.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion further? Roll call.
Bowman,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes. All right. Now we can take up the application for the new purchase of a vehicle for Renewed Horizons. So 2011 Toyota Camry. Vehicles are used to transport clients, children, and families to and from visits, appointments, new placements, and staff to travel to home visits, court hearings, team meetings, and required trainings. This one is also marked as recommendation for approval.
Move to accept the recommendation of the York County Treasurer on the vehicle exemption for Renewed Horizons, a 2011 Toyota Camry.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Roll call.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes. All right, before us now, we have discuss and act on tax list corrections. I don't know, did these get uploaded? Okay. So,
My apologies.
it's all right. Kurt, do you mind going through them? Since we didn't
Did
see
you want
it,
some copies of them, or
I can go make them.
I can have, here.
Let me just go do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
This is the tax list corrections are always deductions.
Now we've had a couple.
We have.
Really bad.
And I spoke too soon. There is one at the back of the.
Did we find another new house?
Yeah. most of these are probably a result of the tax statements going out.
Thanks, Kurt.
Sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Okay,
so the first one, 2125R, that was one that was approved for permissive exemption, but for whatever reason, it was in our system, wasn't made exempt. So that is what that one's correcting. The next one, 22, that was a parcel was combined with another one, and the parcel should have been retired. 23, it's the same thing there. Parcel should be retired. 24, the homestead value is entered incorrectly. 25, that valuation on that one wasn't correct either. The same with 26, 27 as well, they have the correct valuation on theirs. Okay, 725B, that's personal property. Just had a decimal point in the wrong place on that one. And then I'm gonna ask you gentlemen on this 825B for Green Plains, let's hold off on that one because we're confused based on what they sent us last May when they filed versus what they sent us here last week when we were trying to figure out what was going on with this, their tax statement. We just had different information. So I want to make sure we get it right the first time instead of having to correct a correction. So
Yep.
I'd ask that you approve the other ones, but table the 825P.
a couple of these,
Like you said, most of the stuff came to light, people were getting their tax statements separate. So.
and a couple of these, like when it says parcel was combined, should have been retired. So basically, they got double billed.
Right,
It got billed on the other parcel and on this one should have been retired.
exactly, yeah.
Thoughts or questions for the assessor or on the items?
No, but I'll move to approve the tax list corrections 21-25R through 27-25R, as well as 7-25P.
Thank you.
And table
Oh,
24.
and table 8-25P, as according to the assessor's recommendation.
Second.
Perfect. Any further discussion? All right, roll call please.
Burgess,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes. All right, thank you. This takes us to the end of the Board of Equalization and we will adjourn.
Okay, we'll come back as Board of Commissioners, finish up a couple things. We do have the general assistance case, and then we do start the discussion on setting the elected official salaries for 2027 through 2030. The salaries need to be taken care of by January 15th, I believe it is. So between this meeting and the next, we will start that discussion. And I did put it on here to discuss an act, not just discuss in case we get to a point where we agree on certain things. You know, obviously, we have not talked about it yet, but we are down to a 4-member board. And if it splits evenly, then that would be an interesting resolution to come up with. So we'll just kick off, like I say, the general assistance case, we can wait till the end. We'll just kick off the conversation about salaries. Has everybody, or is there any information that anybody needs prior to kicking this off? There are resolutions that were set in years past. in 09, in 2013, 2017, 2021 are the last 4 that we did to set wages. Does everybody want a copy of that electronically, physically?
Yeah, if I could, I actually would like a copy of all the previous ones, because I only have some.
When you say all.
Right, or like the ones that, that we need to set.
Okay, all right.
Make sure I look at the right thing.
Okay, because you sent them out electronically, right, Mary?
I can.
You did?
No.
Okay. Do you want hard copy or do you want electronic?
Electronic's probably easier.
Okay, all right. Let's take a few, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did you both have access to the salary guideline study that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, great.
Yeah, read through it again though, because you.
Yep, okay.
Mary, do you want to take a minute and do you have those readily available? Okay. You can go back to 13, but 13 was it was different when the commissioners did it back then. They did it based on a CPI solution, consumer price index, and or if it's 0, 1%, and I guess it was a small resolution. I guess you can attach that
I'll
to.
just go from 13.
13, 17, and 21.
Yeah. I dug back through our minutes is where I found the stuff, I guess, over the weekend. And like I say, back in 13, it's a very small resolution. It just kind of touches, that if CPI is 0, it gives them 1%, or it gives them up to the CPI up to a max of 3% over that time frame. So I was not part of that. I guess, any thoughts so far? While we're waiting for Mary and the numbers.
All the thoughts and none of the thoughts, all at the same time.
The salary guideline, I obviously didn't sit through it at NACO. First off, couldn't get in the room.
Yeah.
And secondly, I sat through it at the legislative forum back in October.
Yep.
I think it was October down in Beatrice. And, the NACO was fast to point out at that time, and I assume they did it again this last week, was that there was recommendations through the help of Zell to come up with this, and they are solely recommendations. They're just advice for us. So that's where, I kind of took out of it is should we be concerned about what Cheyenne County is paying somebody? Or should we be concerned about what somebody is making in the county of York County compared to other people within the county of York County?
And I'll add a twist to it. It's something me and Daniel discussed, and actually, we talked about it with Maddie yesterday. Positions that are directly have an impact or are impacted by public safety, should we look at those different than a straight salary? Should we set a salary, set a wage? However, giving those officials the ability to earn above that through overtime to take care of emergency situations, staffing issues, things of those nature that come up that are unforeseeable events. Giving those offices a little more flexibility. Now, it all boils down to the budgeted number.
Right.
So, giving some of those people some leeway to earn extra money in the event that they need to, as opposed to feeling like they need to sit on the sidelines because of an 80-hour salary.
And for the purpose of elected officials, I mean, there would be some probably that are in where your discussion's going, for the purpose of the salaries we're setting today, mainly the one that would be affected by such a discussion and change would be the sheriff, correct?
Correct. So I guess I would first curious about what is statute, because we're governed, we have to live by that state statute. What does statute say?
That would be.
Can a guy do something like that?
Right.
Secondly, much like any elected official, when you take the commitment to be an elected official for 4 years, that's why we lay out these regulations. You know what you're going to make for those 4 years. I mean, you're taking the responsibility to say, I want to do that job for 4 years, and that's my compensation for doing it. So I guess I think that anybody that signs up for it knows it in advance of what, and that's what their compensation is. So I don't know that trying to find more money could be a little bit of a budget nightmare. I don't know. I mean, that'd be interesting to see, first off, what statute says.
And the statute does read that the salaries for elected officials cannot be changed in that 4-year period. And so I suppose it would be how you interpreted changing. If, in my thought, if you did whatever the resolution read would have to be pretty well defined
Right.
for that type of a deal. It would have to be included in there because, if you said it was 90,000, and that's all you said in the resolution, then you could probably get yourself into trouble if you were paying overtime and they were compensated above that.
You'd have to have the overtime metric built into
That resolution.
Correct.
Yep. And I think that if you were able to do that, I think it would pass fine. I mean, I think it would hold up. The reading through some of this stuff in here, one of the things I saw was that there was a lawsuit at one point in time about benefits and whether or not the changing of benefits was changing salaries, and that was found. I thought I knew exactly where that was at, but I can't find it. Anyway, they said that the change in healthcare costs didn't necessarily mean that you were changing the elected officials'
wage.
Compensation.
They drew that line.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in favor of trying to complicate it with the overtime and stuff. I see where you're coming from. Like, the idea kind of makes sense, but it would be, to me, it seems a little bit overcomplicated.
It does. The thing that if you look at it, somebody that works on a holiday in a disaster event would end up getting, if they're hourly, they would end up getting their wage plus a holiday pay.
Yeah.
Whereas a salaried or elected official,
This is true.
if they were called in to work on that disaster event, they just continue to receive their straight pay, which, to the chairman's point, you sign up for it, you understand what, and going into it what you're going to get, and so.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, does everybody have then what we are received?
The resolutions did get sent out, yes.
Okay, perfect. As you can see, then obviously we are tasked at setting all the elected officials' wages in the past, we've had the treasurer, the assessor, the clerk of the district court, and even a little bit further back than that, we threw in the public defender was all making the same amount over the 4 years time span. The public defender, a setting a couple times ago, we started pulling that away. And so then we have the in the past and as late as 2021, we had the assessor, the treasurer, the clerk, and the clerk of the district court, all on the same pay schedule. Public defender, county attorney, and the sheriff on their own separate pay scenarios. I think that one of the things we learned this last week was to pick on the county attorneys a little bit and or the public defenders is in John's deal, we have a attorney shortfall in the state of Nebraska. I don't know if you've seen those maps or not. We tend to pick on attorneys. We tend to say it'd be a better world without attorneys in it. But then I have a feeling those counties that don't have any attorneys in there, they wish they had an attorney around. So those are some areas that I think that we need some work on. As he pointed out, that Adams County had a position open as public defender for several months, and they were offering $125, and then new students were saying that's not enough. It's not enough for me to come out of school with the debt load that I currently have. So these are some things that we're going to have to look at and really dive into. And then of course, what do we do with the sheriff's department? Personally, I feel like as we look through and we see what the position is, we try to compensate the best we can over the next 4 years. And is that compensation doled out over 4 years' time? Is that compensation doled out in the first year and said, that's the wage, here you go. That's your wage for 4 years. That's really up to us. It depends upon what we can make our budget fit and stuff like that. Those are where I've been thinking. And not to forget, then we take care of ourselves. What do we do with the county commissioner's wages over the next 4 years? So do we want to start with one particular group? I mean, I'm good with just taking, okay, let's do this group, see if we can come to a consensus, move on, and do the next group. Does that sound, okay?
I think when, I've got a few more things I want to
Sure.
high level discuss. But then, yeah, that's probably the best way to start working on them. One of the things that knowing that this was coming, that we would need to set this, I was fairly new on the board when we first done it, when we done it 4 years ago. One of the things that throughout the last 4 years, when it came to budget time, and salary raises for the whole of the rest of the employees, it was, and this, I'm just sharing thoughts that are bouncing around in my brain. We're not going to get away from comparing to what we're doing for other departments, et cetera. We heard about that in public comment. But one of the things that in the last 4 years, when it would come to budget time, when it come to setting salaries, we had put in a fairly substantial jump each year for the elected officials. Was that unwarranted? No, not necessarily. I think we needed to bump them up to get them to where we're at now. But we were always, well, the elected officials are getting this much. How can you only give us this much? Why can't we get as much or more than the elected officials? So as I was thinking through that and thinking about this task that is before us, one of the places my brain went was, let's set the wage and leave it for 4 years. Now, in the last 4 years, we've seen crazy inflation. And so had we done that 4 years ago, maybe we'd be behind the 8 ball. So I don't know that I'm tied to that, but that's my initial thought is we discuss a wage, we find where it's at, and then that's what it's set for 4 years. The other point, as we start looking at each of these, in the salary study, the median household income for York County is 74,000. And so to your point of, looking at, do we look at what Hamilton County's making? Do we look at what Butler County, Seward County, et cetera? Or do we look at what's the wage that our residents can make in the private sector? And so all of that is information that has to take into account, I think. It's all on that. Yeah.
And that's household,
Correct.
which typically means two people. Typically, not all the time.
Right.
But typically.
I hate to point this out, but the resolution for county board and chair says that the chairman makes $277,000 for the year 2026. There's a decimal place that's messed up on that one.
Be a good year.
It will be.
Yeah.
Well,
Good year.
not necessarily for the budget.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you're kind of in favor of maybe, at least for some positions, just setting it and keeping it for the 4 years.
Right. That's where my
Yeah,
brain
that's-
initially went.
and that'd be fine. I just wonder if it'd be, I don't know. Alternatively, we could just kind of follow the trend that's already been like set from the last time and kind of just follow that. I don't know if there's.
Some of it depends on where we decide that wage
Yeah,
should
exactly.
be.
If we want to
If
make
we-
any actual
right.
adjustments, yeah.
Correct, exactly.
Feel there's
If it's
gonna be
if we decide that there needs to be a substantial change in these wages, then maybe it makes more sense to spread that out over time.
Yeah.
If we decide that we're not that far off currently and we're gonna leave it, then yeah.
I guess the other thing I'd like to bring up just a little bit, again, before we get going real hard into it is there a ceiling? Or is this an unlimited ceiling? Is this wage something that just continues to
Yeah, exactly.
to
It's
go
like
up, or is there a ceiling in York County? When we do, Daniel brought up the median household income. If we talk about the stereotypical median household that's paying the taxes, two people are making that type of money. In some cases, one, but two people are making that kind of money. And then, do they see these other positions making so much more than what they are? Now, they can always come file and try to be that elected position. But, is that ceiling up there? And where is it in our minds? It's different undoubtedly for county attorney and one of our other elected officials, the public defender, sheriff's department. The ceilings are different, but are they there?
Right.
And I guess personally, I think there should be some form. We feel like we've got closer to it. When I look at some of the wages over the last two settings that I've been involved with, the clerk, the treasurer, those four together, they went up $16,000 in those timeframes. Sheriff's Department, county attorney has went up 20 or a little bit more than 20,000 in that timeframe. So we've done some pretty good jumps. Now, was we behind? We probably was a little bit behind, but are we getting closer to where we feel like we're more comfortable in the wage for that office? So, those are just things there's a lot of stuff to really take into account, not just grabbing a number off the wall and saying, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel comfortable with that, that's it.
So one thing, we live in a community where, the agriculture industry plays a big part in our communities. So I was looking at, okay, we talk about CPI, we talk about SLICE, those are the two pieces that were included in the study. There's a metrics put together by the USDA that tracks farm prices paid versus farm prices received. So prices of inputs to grow a crop versus the prices of received per bushel on those crops, or whether it be crops or livestock, they track them both. So I just found it interesting to kind of look at those numbers. So you made the comment that, in the last few settings, wages have continued to increase. The baseline that USDA uses is 2011. So 2011 is 100. That's the baseline, and then it's either up or down based on from there. So in 2025, October of 2025, grain, the ratio of prices received for grain was at 73% of the prices received in 2011, and the prices paid were at 144%. So a number. I mean, everybody likes to get a bigger paycheck every year. That's great, but a large number of our residents aren't necessarily tied to just, okay, the calendar flipped, I get another. I get another whatever. And so I think that needs to have a little bit of weight in our discussions and where we sit. If we bake in increases, for sure.
Any other general thoughts?
We're gonna get what we pay for, guys. That's where I'm at with this. I mean, Daniel, I appreciate you trying to draw the correlation to the agricultural sector, but we both know inputs and equipment costs and that have zero reflection to any of the data that you just provided.
Yeah, it's all only as good as the data that gets input.
Right. So I mean, yeah, that's a world me and you chose to live in. I'm not expecting someone that has to patrol our highways or prosecute our criminals to adhere to our issues that we experience on the farm. But I just overall, with my past business experience working for a couple of larger companies in the county and in the state and in the nation, actually, looking at these salaries, you probably wouldn't pull any of their top 30% of their employees at these wages. None. I mean, they're all those folks are making significantly higher wages than these. Even with the county attorney at $112,000. I know. Looking locally in our community, I'm guessing that someone selling tractors at Acres is probably pushing six figures pretty easily if he's doing this job. Now, there's no one pointing a gun at him, like there's the county sheriff. So all these things are coming into my mind is we've got to find the right levels so we have the right people protecting our county, doing the right things for our county in all these offices. I mean, all these offices, so. To Randy's point, I think we need to look around us, with the exception of probably the sheriffs. The sheriffs I would definitely see as a one-off from all these. I mean, that's a whole different ask. I mean, there's probably Gary, 4 or 5 lawyers in the county that could probably run. There's not a lot of sheriff candidates. There's probably 2, maybe 3. So. Yeah. That's where I'm at. We've got to get right with whatever what the wages we need in this area to get the right people we want to even sign up for it. I mean, if I was working in my last job, there's no way I would put my name in the hat for county assessor or any of those offices that I could actually do, because it'd be a huge astronomical pay cut. So, because it all boils back to, we're going to get what we pay for. And that's what we need as far as setting one salary for 4 years. I'm with you on that. I like that. Now, current economics with inflation and those things really made me pause and almost want to take a step back from that. We don't know what the next 4 years is. I guess I would be okay setting it for 4 years, but it'd have to be at a level, probably a higher level than what I think I would be comfortable with, setting a yearly step up, just based on simple metrics.
Well, let's jump in. Unless anybody's got anything generally to say. I guess I thought the other day, as I was trying to think this through, why not start with ourselves and discuss the county commissioner wages for the next 4 years. As we go through the discussion, this last year we did not. We actually split the chairman's duties over the year. In years past, it's been compensated by $100 more a month for the chairman to get it. We did not have it in our resolution to do that if we had a split chair. And I think the chairman of the board of commissioners obviously spends a little bit more time doing a few extra things than what the chairman of the board of equalization does, but I do think it's probably something to be compensated. And I guess I wondered if we should do half of that, if in the event that it gets split up again. It may not get, and then that they would just, whoever the chair is, gets the chair wages. But in the event that it gets, I would like to see it read into there, in the event that the chairmanship gets split up, then the chairman of the board of equalization gets compensated at $50 more a month. Chairman of the board of commissioners gets the $100 a month. Not one person getting both, but if it gets split up, is what I'd say. Have you've seen our wages go up by $500 a year over the last several years. Will be 26.5, I believe it is, this next year. So we'll see where this conversation goes, but I'm fine with where it's at. At that point in time. I know that there are some counties that make more than us, some counties make a little bit less than us, some counties meet, like Hamilton County meets, I believe it is every Monday, so they meet twice as much as us. And so it's kind of hard to look at some of those scenarios. Polk County meets 3 times a month, not twice a month. We're sometimes we meet 3 times a month, but they're on that roll all the time. So I guess my recommendation would be to set ours as it is for the next 4 years, where we end 2026 with the adjustment of the chairmanship. That's just my simple recommendation. Discussion around that.
So of note, your recommendation would obviously fall into the guidelines. There was a legislative change, I don't remember exactly when, but in the last couple of years, to where the compensation for Board of Commissioners is limited as far as how much it can increase. So that is not something that they put on the other elected officials, but it was put on the commissioners' wages. I don't know the complete matrix. It takes into account when the wages were set, and then there's a calculation using the inflation rate plus 1%, I believe. And so obviously, if we leave it where we're at, we're perfectly within that guideline. But there is statute to where we can't come in and double our salary.
And this goes more to my thinking is, where's that ceiling at?
Mm-hmm.
For us, we all do other things. Joe's a full-time student, the rest of us are full-time in our occupations, and we're making it work. Where is that ceiling? And so to me, we're close to it. We're right there. So that's just my feelings. So.
Keeping it where it's at. I don't see a huge reason for a adjustment there.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to change that salary at all.
Well, let's see where it goes. I'll make a motion to set the salary for the York County Commissioners, accepting the chairman at $26,500 for each of 27, 28, 29, and 30. The York County Chairman of the Board of Commissioners at $27,700 in the event of the Board of Equalization Chairman being different than the Board of Commissioners Chairman.
Six.
So that'd be 27,100. In that event, the York County Board of Equalization Chairman wage being 27,100. Further, I would resolve that the York County Commissioners be eligible for the full benefits as stated in the York County Employee Manual.
Second.
So you started that as a motion and then did the resolve. Do you have to make
It
sure?
is a resolution.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Thanks.
just making sure that
Yep.
we have that. We've made that mistake.
Everybody clear on that? Any other discussion regarding it?
Okay, let me read this back. So set the wages for each commissioner at $26,500 with the exception of the chairman being $27,700. If split duties of the chairman, then it would be $27,100
For the Board of Equalization.
for the Board of Equalization. Okay.
Yeah,
Board of Commissioners
would
stays
stay
at
at the 27.
27,700.
Okay, chairman would stay at 27,700. Board of Equalization chair would be
I would
27,100.
list this as chair of the Board of Commissioners.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yes, I get it. With full benefits, retirement, health insurance, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Gross,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Okay, one down.
Nice.
Woo-hoo. You want to pick on the 4 next? The
Yeah,
4 being the assessor, the treasurer, the clerk, and the clerk of the district court. The addition I would like to have on this one would be, we had halfway through the year, we dumped general assistance on to the clerk's office. This had been a compensated position up in the clerk of the district court, and then it got rolled into a wage and a package and stuff like that. The clerk did take this task on and did not complain about it. This would be something that I feel like, because it is a budget setting piece too, and we've had more this year as we look through our vendor claims and stuff, and the one we'll have to tackle again today. We've had more of them this year. So I wondered if we should do, for that position, for the clerk's office, an extra for running the general assistance. And that way it's kind of found a home, at least for 4 years. Comments on that?
Got 5%. Yeah. Okay. No, I think that makes sense. Increasing duties.
And,
What's the frequency of that? Is it,
Every day.
I mean,
Every day
Just give me a
we-
percentage. Like, is it 1% of your duties, 2% of your duties, 3%?
Every day we get a phone call.
Okay.
We hand out an application. We speak to people. If it's not every day, it's at least 3 times a week, if not more. A lot of times it's just a phone call. Then they'll come in, pick up the application and never come back.
And we were talking, when we were talking with YC3, you're trying to find a home for it, or even somebody that was in-house but not an employee of York County. We were talking about possibly compensating per case type of a deal. How do we compensate for it? So this is just a thought. And this would be, like, say, just for the clerk's office. We still have everybody else's wage to talk about.
This would be just general assistance clerk,
Yes,
basically.
yeah, it'd be added to the resolution.
right, are you thinking, are you wanting to set the, clerk's wage the same as
Yes,
the other 4? And then, but then you're also thinking in the resolution, you're saying due to extra duties with the
general assistance.
you want to add some. Okay.
Suggestion.
Yep.
Uh,
I'm not necessarily opposed. I'm trying to think through the best way to do that.
That's why I was asking for a percentage.
Right. And does it make sense to do it? I guess where I'm going is, does it make the most sense to put it under the elected officials title, or is that something that needs to be added to the deputy's salary? I don't know which is the right way to, I mean, and not necessarily the deputy, maybe it's the election commissioner that handles it. I don't know, I'm just trying to.
I was trying to find it a home,
Okay.
you know,
Yep.
and because, you know, at any given point, you know, we haven't dealt with it. They could get tired of it and say,
We're done.
handle it. Then that hasn't happened.
Right. Yep.
So that, yeah, I was just trying to find it a home. So could it be as simple as one of the chairman's duties, wages on top? I think it could be, you know, something like that.
I'd like to go that route, because if, say, at any point, Mary's office decides, say it goes to the treasurer's office at some point because workload and whatnot. It's a figure that we set out there that moves to wherever its home is. At that time, maybe it moves back up to district court, who knows? Just set it as a figure, an additional figure to move to whoever is housing that responsibility.
I see what you're saying, yeah. So do we have the authority to put in this resolution, the right to pay for budgetary preparation help? Do we have the authority to include general assistance in this?
In the wage, yes, in the wage of the elected official.
Does it even need to be set within this? Can we do that as a?
Well, you can't, whatever, I mean, we can't say we're gonna pay the elected clerk, but $1,000 more if it's not included in this resolution.
So could we in the resolution put whatever elected official's office takes upon general assistance cases, their wages increase by X?
Correct.
We can do
Right.
that.
And I think that's the correct way to do it, if we have the authority to do that. That's what I don't know, because in the statute, it specifically says that we have the authority to set the wage on the budgetary preparation.
But it also gives us the authority to, for instance, on the election commissioner, to pay them a little bit more.
Yep.
So I think in the stat, or in our resolution, it's kind of like the guidelines for the county attorneys in years past. We kind of spell out
Right.
what that job entails. And this is adding, and here's the adding and the compensation. I did not check this out with NACO. I just feel pretty confident that we can and have the authority to add that to it.
Right. So like in 2021, we added verbiage. If the York County Board of Commissioners contracts with any elected official to serve as the budget-making authority, said officials shall be allowed an additional amount of salary not to exceed $1,500 for providing such budget-making duties.
And that is put in there for the overall budget of the county. I mean, it doesn't necessarily specify that, but that's the overall budget of the
Yes,
county.
exactly. Yep. We currently contract with an outside party. And so that's, yeah.
I don't see how it could possibly be out of bounds. The way we're proposing.
I don't think it's. What do you think for the dollar amount? 1,500,
I was thinking $100 a month. I mean,
1,200? That's not. That makes sense.
comments? Thinking. Comment from the clerk? We're talking about you
I
in
know.
public.
I was just thinking I could have made more money because preparing the budget.
No,
It says up to, it doesn't say.
That, you know when that came from, right? When we used to prepare the budget in-house.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah. I know where that came from.
Okay. I'm still looking for a comment from you. Are you interested in continuing to do it?
Yeah, it's
Not too many.
not, Yeah, it's fine.
It needs to find a home.
It does need to find a home.
Daniel, thoughts? Are you looking something up yet?
Yeah, I was reading statutes.
Ooh, that's fun.
I know, right?
You want to kick that piece to the next meeting? And then we can go ahead and ask NACO.
Or we could just set it as part of the wage.
Yeah, if we're worried about it, we could just set it as part of the wage and then have like maybe a little note to remind us what that's for. But
So, yeah, so I guess it must have been in here maybe that I saw something about, because I'm not finding it. I thought it was wrote in the statute regarding the budgetary makeup, but
It's
so
probably
it's
in
probably all
addition.
right.
Okay, let's talk about the four, then the actual wage for the four. Where does everybody feel like we need to go? Currently, the wage is, it will be for the next year, for 2026, will be $76,500. And obviously that's risen from, in 2023, it was $69,000. And, you know, if you go back a little bit further than that, in 2018, 2019, it was $60,178.06. And odd kind of figures because at that time it just got done with that 1% or percentages, stuff like that. So where do we think it should go? Over the last 4 years, obviously, you've seen the raise and the $2,500 on an annual basis that's went up. I guess that to me, we're getting there. Yeah, to me that if we're in the 80s, that's a good wage for York County. I know some people obviously make more, and a whole lot of people make a whole lot less.
yes.
You know, I see this as like I say, a toss up either way. If we was looking at increasing it by $4,000 or $5,000, do we just do that in the first year and say that's what that wage is for those, or do we actually split it out? Does it give better morale or whatever over a 4-year period to get just a little bit more each time, or that nice boost go? It is what I've been, you know, kind of struggling, you know, with just a little bit. But, you know, where I was at was, you know, that 80 to 82, somewhere in there. Looking at that as whether we start in 2027 and end in 30, or just give it all in 2027 and say that's 27 through 30. So there's something out there.
So currently, those four that you're talking about are set at, they will be next year at 76,500. each has its own set of uniqueness. But at the same time, similarly tied to other jobs in York County.
Yeah. Okay. That's gonna be 2030.
Let's see.
I guess my proposal on that would be to do a 6% raise year one for 2027, and then give 2% every year after that. That should end us somewhere around that 56, or just shy of that $86,000 number.
So that would be raising it again about $10,000.
Yeah, it's just a different way to slice it.
Right. I think that's plenty. I can't be on board on raising it that much again. We can talk, getting it closer to that 80,000, but I can't be on board taking it clear up to 86 in 4 years. I think comparatively to, other jobs in York County, I think that'd be a really good wage. It's a good wage now. It'd be a really good wage, I think, in 4 years.
Yeah, I'm also thinking more in that 80, 82 range. What we're getting to by 2030, rather than well above that.
I could be there at the 82.5 probably.
Joe, where was you at?
The 80, 82 range, what we're ending at in
Okay.
2030. I'd be okay with just setting a flat rate, 81, 82 for the 4 years, rather than just, but
Okay.
I also don't know what's, better from around or whatever, but it's an increase, so.
Do we have thoughts, if you're thinking about, and this would be if we're thinking about doing a jump over
Yeah,
4
steps.
years, if it's better just to set a set
Dollar amount.
amount, or do you tie it to CPI and do it that way? Do you? If we come up with a number and set it, it don't matter.
Right.
If we're
Being in those discussions back when it was CPI,
I like
compared
the
to, and then if CPI drops, it's a minimum of this or that. Yeah, I don't know, but
right.
I just soon grab a dollar amount.
Yeah, I think it's
and
easier
say
to
that's
set it.
what it is.
Where my brain was going is that if we were to set increases, that it would be tied to CPI, slice, whatever. Then if you have a year, let's say the economy goes south and for the next 2 years, we're at a negative, then the wages stay.
Just saying.
In my opinion, if we tied it to CPI, it would be, if CPI was negative or zero, then there wouldn't be a raise. And then your CPI would be, if it was 1.5, it'd be 1.5. If it was 3, do you give them 3? Do you cap it? If it's 10, do you cap it at 5? So there's multiple different ways to.
78,
Get into
79,
there.
80, 81.
Sounds like what we did back in 2013. Prior.
Yep.
Prior. Joe? You get on board with, or I guess more so Daniel, where are you at? If we was to pick $1,500 a year over 4 years, that'd be 6,000. That'd be 82.5 at the end of 4 years.
It's a good thought. I'm not sure I'm on board with committing to that just yet. 875 a year would take it to 80,000 in 2030.
Mary, as we go through this and we make motions and resolutions, I should say, for setting wages, are they gonna have different individual resolution numbers?
Well, we can do,
Yes.
Or can we
like
combine
you-
them into one?
We can do one, but you already did the commissioners, so that will be one. This will be one, unless you want to add other people to it.
I think we
If
can
that
build
makes-
a resolution. If you want it to be one,
I think
we can build a
it'd be
resolution
better
as
for,
we go.
for searching in the future that we look at this resolution as
As
like we
one.
had.
And I think we can do that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
Resolution
back in like
2149 was the last time.
2009 or whatever first resolution I have saved, everybody's wage was, I
Right.
believe it was Cynthia.
Well, and
that
that's
did
what,
that.
that's what this is.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, all in one. We
All
want to
in
make
one.
sure that we have.
Yeah, that's what okay, so the way I see it, if we can agree on an ending wage for 2030, then we can kind of just split up the 4 years. Seems like it's like, 1,500 a year or whatever it ends up being, 865 or whatever. So if we can decide on the ending number, then I think we can probably just move on with that. Because I'm hearing 80,000, 82, 82.5.
Mr. Chairman, I make a suggestion. In visiting with some of my counterparts across the state, they've had a committee set up with a couple board members and a couple other elected officials where they would make a recommendation to the board and the board would act on that. This doesn't need to be decided today, and it's, I can tell you guys are kind of struggling with where to end up with this stuff. There is discuss and act on the agenda. Would you be open to appointing a committee of 2 board members to look at this and bring a recommendation to the full board? Do a lot of that heavy work beforehand so you guys can get into the meat of it the next board meeting, whatever day that is.
I think that even if we do that, this type of, it'd be fine for 2 members to do it, but I think even if we do it, and Kurt, you in your years past, in your, previous, life, this conversation's still gonna happen.
Right.
Because it's 2 people's opinions coming forward, and there's still gonna be the question of this or that. So I think it's just one of those things that this conversation has never been easy. You're talking about an office. You're not necessarily talking about a person, but we know we're talking about people that are in that office. So it's one of those things that I suppose if 2 people wanted to do that, but I have a feeling that the next board meeting, which they have to be done at, is still going to have a conversation like this. I just do. Been involved in 3 of them now, so None of them have went in 15 minutes. Melanie, you probably sat at them all, I'm guessing. Yeah, many years. So.
I guess from my standpoint, Kurt, to your point, I wouldn't mind seeing what you guys as a collective group think they need to be. I really wouldn't. I'd welcome it, but I'd like to see it at least 2 weeks before our next meeting, or at least a week before our next meeting, not 2.
Sure.
But, I mean, I'm sitting up here, I'm judging these positions based off of what I know versus what the private sector is paying.
Yeah.
My opinion, I know is gonna differ from Daniel's, differ from Randy's, differ from Joe's, just because of our different experiences, so. I would definitely welcome that, and a few of you have reached out to me to plead your case, not plead your case, but to talk about the position from a business standpoint, and I've appreciated that. I would love to hear that, see that on paper from everyone, I guess.
Oh, even just like we talked about before, you know, we all have very different job responsibilities and duties as well, so.
All of us do. You have to be certified. I have 3 offices in my office, plus general assistants. I mean, yeah.
And are we doing the right thing lumping all these together? That's in the back of my head too.
That's why I'm for rushing this, just to get it done for the sake of getting it done, or we're not doing service to the offices. And not the people in the offices, but the offices themselves.
So we only have one more meeting before we.
They have to be set, yeah.
They have to be set by
That's why I
January 6th.
wanted it on here. If we could come to some consensus as this one, we had that much of the piece done, and then, you know, we would have the next meeting, we have to have that done.
Do you wanna let those 4 jumble around and
We can.
go down to the next one, or, county surveyor's another one we didn't talk about it right at the
No,
start.
we got that one yet too.
To discuss.
And of course, if any of these positions aren't filled through an election, then we can appoint and negotiate a wage at that point too.
Right.
So. Okay. So then the next would be, that I'd like to talk about then would be public defender. That wage, as we see in 92.5 will be the 2026 wage of the public defender. It is one that has grown more, but then we have, you know, I don't know what the answer for some of the public defender is. I know they can't do absolutely everything. But as I had mentioned before, we do have the public defender wage through the court system that we're paying a lot of money to. We do pay $125 an hour to those attorneys. And if you was to take that wage times 2080, we're well over 200,000.
Right.
You know, 2080 being a normal 260,000. Well over obviously what we would pay. So to me, this is one of those that we have to seriously look at a larger increase, especially if we're going to get somebody that we won't know until the time frame comes, but been told that maybe that one isn't going to file again. So there we are. Thoughts on that position?
It's a hard one to know what to do with that one.
We know what's happening in Adams County. Is Adams County, York County? No.
Not quite.
Not quite, but getting close.
And I don't know, Joe, we talked just a little bit at the conference. Was you able to find any research on what it takes for law students to go through?
There's like a million factors essentially.
What they do?
Yeah, it's like, it could be anywhere from, it's it's hard to find a set number, you know what I'm saying?
Whether they come out of there 200,000. Gary, you got any insight on what a lawsuit would have? Say just a basic degree coming out of law school, what kind of debt load they may carry?
I believe John Cannon represented that his daughter came out with 200,000.
It can be very significant.
Law schools in the 60,000, 70,000 a year category for 3 years. Carrying, if they had student loan, undergrad student loan debt. 200,000 is fairly easy to get to.
So
It's not uncommon to be over $100,000 of debt, so not uncommon at all. Yeah. Well, it depends. York specifically, it's a lot easier to get local scholarships, but not every community has anything close to what York has, so.
thoughts? To me, this position should, I know that the debt load, when we talk about public defender versus county attorney, it's not the same workload. County attorney deals with everything, correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, and public defender or deals with the cases that are assigned
That is correct.
to them. So the caseload may be 300 county attorney, 150 public defender. I don't know what those numbers are, but it can be different, significantly different.
Significantly different.
But still, it has to be a figure that somebody's going to want to come here and work to.
Yep.
And as we're putting figures out, we have the county attorneys to talk about next, so.
Are you thinking like, mid to upper 90s or 100 plus?
100 plus. Hundred plus with it, it needs, I know in the past, it's been maybe not so much a, it needs to be a full-time position. We need to get
Right.
as much as we can out of that public defender, to take the weight off of the other things that they can take weight off of. Some things are out of their hands, with the court system, but, to me, yes, it would have to be in that, maybe 110 to 120 over the next, 4 years. It is something
Yeah, I
that
don't
not
think that's
anybody
actually
can walk in and do.
Right. But if you're talking that, then you just said that the county attorney's
No
office.
doubt.
And so then,
Oh, God.
No doubt.
Randy, I would agree with you that these next three are the ones that we're probably pretty underwater. Margin on.
And here we're in charge of our budget, our overall budget, but we gotta have people to do the job.
Yep.
It's not out of the norm.
Unfortunately, I do think you're right about that 110 plus range probably, at least from everything I've looked up, but.
It was a lot easier when I mentioned the county or commissioner stay the same. You guys just fell right on board and everybody was good to go. You want to talk a little bit about the county attorneys?
Yeah.
Throw the thoughts out on that?
Sure.
My gut says that starts at 130, but I don't know if that's even high enough.
What is it gonna be in 2026?
And for these
12,
three,
5.
112.
These three what?
these three are the ones that, when I think about a 4-year commitment, due to the nature of these three, these are the ones that I could see we set the right wage and we keep it.
Sure. Yep.
Like public defender, my number's probably about 112.5 for that, and then 132.5 for county attorney, and then we leave them for 4 years.
You said 132.5?
Yeah. I think Sheriff falls right in the middle.
Ain't got a line drawn out for him yet.
We're gonna have to recess pretty soon.
Finished his mouth.
We can. We'll take a recess. Okay, let's take a recess for 5 or so minutes.
All right. All right, we're unmuted.
Thank you, Joe. Okay. Comments on what was talked about prior to our little recess. And the two that we haven't heard, well, I guess we kind of heard a little bit about the sheriff, but the sheriff and the surveyor yet, are ones that we haven't really full-fledged thrown numbers out.
I think the surveyor, we had a couple thousand of that one and
Leave it.
leave it.
That's kind of where I thought might be reasonable.
Once again, if the surveyor doesn't file for election and nobody files for election, then we can
Discuss it.
negotiate that and appoint.
How many years has Rex ran unopposed?
Well, Rex only ran one term.
Oh, you don't, okay.
Yeah, we had continued to appoint him. And he's done a great service to this county with the experience and everything he's had. It's just that a little bit more limited now. And and we contract, I believe, with two others that come in and help, as needed. So now whether they would want to run for election or not would be questionable with the wage as it is. But once again, if it's open, then we can take care of that at a later date.
Because it's considered just a part-time.
Obviously, we can put whatever parameters we want on it, but yeah, that's definitely what it's
It
considered.
should be treated as needed part-time.
Right, yeah. I don't know, are they currently eligible? It's listed in there, so they're eligible for the full benefit.
As an elected official, yeah.
So you thinking closer to 20 or closer to 25?
I think 20, set it at 20.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. We're all in agreement with that one. Okay, back up. We talked about the public defender a little bit. We talked about the county attorney a little bit and the sheriff's department just briefly. Thoughts on the sheriff's department. Currently, the sheriff, not department, the sheriff, as 2026, it looks like 92.5 will be the wage for that year. And then it is went from 85 to 92.5 in 10 years time, or 4 years time, 12.5 in 4 years time.
I guess I stated a pretty big wage increase, and my justification for that is the caseload. I mean, the way things have evolved in our county to the point of we've got big city crimes, and we need to have big city type officials running those posts. That's what it's going to take, in my opinion.
Right. I don't disagree. The only problem is, where do you come up with the big city money?
Responsible for his own budget. I agree. I mean,
Right.
but it still boils back down to, in my head, we have to have the right people in place. Otherwise, the problem gets exponentially worse.
I guess as I thought along, Andy, with keeping with what we had, the last time they were very close parallel with public defender, not trying to marry the two of them together, just the wage. And personally, I was looking at the wage to increase to that. That's a nice increase. It's over six figures. I know that we've had some conversations with members of the sheriff's department and what some of the deputies are making, which is overtime generated type numbers. And to me is where I was thinking was in that 110 to 115, maybe splitting it down there to that 112.5 is where my mind was going for the sheriff's wage, which once again, that takes it up, 20 over where it's sitting right now.
And are you thinking you're just gonna jump that and then leave it? Or
Yes.
are you trying to?
No, yes.
So my pushback to that was, Randy, is I agree with your methodology to get there. The problem is, I think part you're leaving out in your thought process is that is a position that is not an 80-hour week position. I mean,
In tying it with the public defender, is that where you're?
correct. That definitely is not an 80-hour, 40-hour
Right.
week position.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to marry those two positions. Just the wage is what I was thinking of. That's what we've been paying to them. Somebody with a lawyer's degree and stuff like that. The sheriff's is an earned degree over time. It's just where I was going with mine. So, and not comparing. I've tried to stay out of that comparison thing. I did look through this, and I'm not trying to compare it to other things. I think we've been very fortunate with the sheriff we've had. He surrounded himself with two of them are in the room, with great guys to take this sheriff's department to the next level. And to me, he has been doing that job at the wage he's been doing. And if we add to that about 20 grand, that in my mind is a good number. Now, three of you may disagree with me, and that's fine. I'm just saying that's in my mind, that's a good number. I think we have a very dedicated, all across the board, all of our officials are dedicated to York County. I posed a question, not to put her on the spot, but posed a question to the clerk yesterday that wasn't even my question, but if you didn't get a raise at all, would you really quit this job? And I didn't get an answer right away.
I said,
Where-
heck yeah. No.
You did not. And, a lot of times in the private sector, you might get that right away. Well, if you ain't gonna pay me, the heck with you. So it just kind of shows the dedication that all of our elected officials have to this county, as well as us sitting here. I mean, the wage we get, if we deducted so much for every butt chewing we took, I mean,
You wouldn't get a Grinch socks or have it.
no, probably not. No Grinch socks. So, but we do it because it's the county.
I don't disagree that there needs to be some adjustments in some of these. Some of the numbers that have been tossed out here, kind of hard to swallow.
They are.
You think?
And they don't have to be swallowed today,
Right.
but they do have to be swallowed at the next meeting, whatever we come up with.
I personally, at this point, would like to table the rest of these until the next meeting.
Is there any more input just on ideas before we do that? I mean, just so we don't if somebody's, Andy or Joe, Andy, yeah, Andy too. Do you have anything to add to that? Because I don't disagree, Andy. I mean, that's why we were going to talk about it today. Do we have any more input to talk about? To think, you got the numbers written down, what we've kind of talked about. We've pretty much decided the R's, the surveyor.
Where my brain was going with these others, looking at where they're at, I was looking more at adding 7,500 like public defender 100, sheriff 100, county attorney 120. That's kind of in thinking that, okay, we probably have to give some jumps there. So that was maybe closer where my brain was thinking about.
Okay.
And I hadn't settled on how to get there, if it was just a boom and then, or if there was staggers.
So those are your,
That was,
Your
is
numbers.
that your 2030 number, or is that your starting wage for 27 number?
Or both.
right, exactly. That's where I don't know.
Okay.
I was trying to decide if we were, I would say if we jumped there immediately, then it just stayed that for the 4 years. That's probably the direction, but
Yeah, that's.
hadn't completely formulated all of that yet.
Let me pose you this question. Would you seek legal advice from an attorney making $100,000?
All right. Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
I think I would also be, or I don't know if you really said you were super in favor of this, but of just the setting the wage for the 4 years, not necessarily. I don't know, it's okay to do the, divide it into the 4 years, getting up to that point. Obviously, the main thing is we just need to figure out an agreement on the 2031 and figure it out from there. But I think I would be in favor of just setting it and keeping it that for the 4 years, whatever we end up at.
It's a one way to, I mean, if the 2030 number is the goal, jumping there immediately is a budget buster the first year, but it's a benefit to whoever is elected for the next 3 or 4 years, because they're getting that higher wage for all of those years rather than waiting till the end of their term to get that.
And then I guess the other thing we need to make sure we're clear on is whether it makes sense to still group the assessor, clerk, district court, and treasurer all together under the same thing. Whether we still think that's a good idea.
I think that's fairly common practice across most counties.
It does simplify
Most of those offices have got the same amount of staff. Are they different? Yeah, they're different, but they kind of.
It's hard to figure out, what's fair there sometimes.
Okay. Any other comments regarding wages right now? Once again, we will have to deal with this at the next meeting, no doubt about it.
Motion to continue discussion at the next meeting.
Bowman already did that.
Oh, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. So you would be.
Well, then I'm seconding it.
Okay.
Help me out, gents.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Bowman,
Yes.
and then I'll do Groves,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes. Okay, as expected, interesting conversation. We will have to go into executive session now to handle a case. So at this point in time, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session at 11:18 to prevent the needless harm and injury to an individual.
So moved.
Second.
We will have the clerk and the county attorney stay with us too, by the way. Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Mary.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Groves,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Bye.
Are you gonna come back, are you gonna be,
On the owl.
Yeah.
Try to get that. I'm gonna end this.
Just yell at me, that'd be right.
Yes.